Okay guys, this video that you're watching right now is part of a new series called Pokemon Violet, Prince of Paldea, and it's going to be following my journey as I play this game. I named my character Prince. I'm going to start things off by showing you the opening visuals of the game. And in the opening visuals, it shows you the school's campus, and it also shows you Palmy and Nimona. It makes an effort to really show those characters, because they play a huge role in the actual story of the game. Well, not necessarily Palmy, but he's like this new iconic Pokemon. I think they're planning on using him to replace Pikachu. And so you can see all the excited school children, and now it takes you straight into showing you Miraidon. Now, at the beginning of the game, they show Miraidon flying through the sky, going through all of Paldea. He's zooming around pretty fast, as you can clearly tell. He goes right past a bunch of Tauros, the new kind of Tauros. Then he goes past some Flamigo, the new bird Pokemon, the Flamingo Pokemon, which I mentioned before. And then he circles around. They show my house. I'm fast forwarding at some points. There's my character right there. And there's my character's mom. And then, not long after the mom is talking to the main character of the story, then Clavel shows up. Totally not weird at all, but he shows up and he's like, I've got something special for you because you're like some special student or something like that. And then he shows me the three starter Pokemon. And then I see how they are. They come up and they greet me because I guess they look at me and they're like, man, this guy's awesome. This guy's really cool. And so they walk up just like that and they're like, wow, look at him. And so I go over to Nimona's house, and her house is like super nice because she's rich. And the Pokemon start walking off and doing their own thing. Quaxley starts playing in the water. He starts fiddling with his hair in the water. Then Sprigatito starts sniffing flowers. This is all the stuff you saw in the opening trailers for the game. Coco sneezes and burns a fruit. And then Nimona shows up and she's like super excited to see me. And then I pick Coco to be my starter. I put him on my arm. I'm not sure how my character can hold this guy on his arm at all. Then the first battle happens. I have no idea what's going on with her arm. It looks cool, but I don't know if she's actually like handicapped or something, or it was like an injury. And then I start the battle with Coco. I have a type advantage, and I know how to play this game, so I just incinerate her grass cat. I just completely incinerate her grass cat, and I take her out. Short work, quick work. It's gain the level, and then we find Miraidon about to get attacked by some Houndour, but he screams and I almost fall off a cliff, but I get saved by Rotom. Rotom saves me at the last minute. And then the Houndour run away because they're cowards. I give him a sandwich. Real fast, I give him a sandwich. Looking all desperate and sad for him. I pitied the guy. He looks at the sandwich. He sniffs it even though he's a robot. Well, he's a Pokemon robot thing. He eats the sandwich. And he's like, man, this sandwich is lit. Whatever you put in this is fire. So he jumps up and he's like, oh, I can feel the power. It's got the sauce in it. And so he has all his electricity powers and his dragon powers. He's got it all. He's got his jet propulsion. And he starts roaring. He's like, where they at? So he starts going like a golf cart. He starts scooting over to be like, all right, we got to find these Houndour. They were troubling me, so we're going to trouble them back. Come on, follow me through this dark cave that you can't see anything. And I'm like, I don't know where else to go because I can't swim apparently. And so I go through the cave. Nimona sees me and she's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're not going to blame me for this or press charges for endangering your life like this. Then more Houndour come. They're like, all right, we got more squad now, so we can take him. And he's looking at them like, I wish y'all would. I wish y'all would try to take me right now. And so he starts roaring, and they're like, oh, snap, we don't have enough squad. So they bring their leader. They come back with their leader, Houndoom. And then they come back with so many Houndour. They're about to piece me up. They're about to piece the legendary Pokemon up, Miraidon. And then Miraidon was about to fight, but then he sees more, and he's like, oh, no, I can't give them this work. There's way too many. I'm actually about to lose this. I didn't have my full power back. So he scoops me up real fast in his arms. This looks so unheroic, getting scooped up like this. And the girl next door is seeing that. And so he scoops me up and he takes me out. She's clapping and she's cheering him on. She's like, yeah, that's a good job. You saved my friend. So then he go-karts on his way out, and then he falls and collapses because the sandwich powers didn't last long enough. It was only one sandwich, and it wasn't a very strong sandwich. So that's all the power he had. That's all the power he had, folks. So we're looking at him like he looks kind of like a Cyclizar. Now this guy named Arven shows up and he's yelling at him like that's his dog, but he doesn't really want him as a pet or a Pokemon. So he's looking at us like, hey, I should really get this legendary Pokemon off my hands, which makes no sense because I've never seen somebody so happy to get rid of a legendary Pokemon before. And he also has dad issues or parent issues or something. And then he's like, all right, prove to me that you're a great Pokemon trainer. Let's have a battle. I'm going to choose one of the weakest Pokemon possible to battle you. Oh, and also, thank you for saving Miraidon. Yeah, something like that. Do you think you're worthy to handle Miraidon? Let's do this. Let's have this Pokemon battle. So I'm going to use one of the weakest Pokemon just to see how tough you are, because that makes no sense, and this is a kid's game. But anyway, he sends out that little squirrel Pokemon that I can't remember its name right now. I think it's Suavette or something. And then I beat him real fast. He feels ashamed of himself. He's like, man, I should have known this guy was going to beat me. I feel so bad. I used the weakest Pokemon. Who could have guessed? And so he gives me Ryan's Pokeball. And I'm like, all right, this is episode 1 of the story. And since this is the beginning of the game, it starts off kind of slow, but it was still more interesting than some past games. And thank you for watching episode 1.